Another episode of Cork and the Raw podcast. Thanks very much, everybody. Before we crack on with this week's episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about the merch. Here it is. Now, for God's sake and Jesus, will you do something with your lives and go on and buy the merch on Shopify? The links are all on my Instagram, blah, 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 YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Google it, the shit out of it. It's fine. You can buy mugs, you can buy T-shirts. We're going to be introducing keyrings. We're going to get hats for the winter. We're going to try it until something works. That's what we're going to do, right? So please do buy some merch. Lots of people have bought already, which is fantastic. And also we have the Patreon as well, which is 3 extra episodes a month, which you can get for £3. And also you get discounts on tickets to the live shows and stuff like that. And also my comedy special that will be released pretty soon is going onto the Patreon, first of all, for a good while before we release it to the actual public. So please sign up to the Patreon. The links are in the description. Google, go onto my Instagram, go onto my website, go onto the... It's simple, like, if you just find it. I am sick and blue in the face of talking to you about it. Right? We need money. And we need your money. It's less than a price a cup of fucking coffee. And you get 3 hours of entertainment. We're giving you 4 hours a week free, and some people are still whinging. Anyway, I'm in a good mood, lads. Hey, just to let you know as well, myself and Aaron Butler are going to be doing some work in progress shows, which will be going on sale to the patrons first of all. Only 40 seats. We're going to be doing quite a few of them from September onwards. So if you're a member of the Patreon, you can come and see us in Belfast in front of 40, 50 people maximum if we can get that many people in. I think it might be okay, hopefully. But you can only get those tickets if you sign up to the Patreon. And then if there's any left over, if the patrons don't buy them, we then release them to the public. Okay, so please, there's extra benefits. If you like the podcast, you like what we do here, you like the fact that we can't, we don't check facts. Sometimes we go off in tangents, and sometimes it's an absolute disgrace. But that's the beauty of it. And we're getting about 7,000 people a week that are listening to us, which is absolutely phenomenal. Because last year we were getting about, I would say, the bones of about 1,500 a week were listening to us. So we've grown massively, and we want to go to the next stage now. We're getting new equipment for the studio. We've got a new desk coming. We're going to have new designs and all this kind of stuff. So we want you to come with us on this journey. We don't have thousands of pounds to start this off straight away. We're growing, and we want you to be part of the growth. You're like, oh, I remember when they were shit. They're still shit. But anyway, welcome to Cork and the Raw podcast. We've got Darren with us this week, along with producer Sean, who we've decided to let in on the camera a little bit more. Yeah. Because he's so funny.
Oh, thank you.
And he's a lovely man. We say we let in. He's always on anyway.
He's got a promotion.
He's got a promotion, but he's great. So good to see you guys. How are you?
Grand, sir.
Yeah. Darren, as I always say, is the most Irish man I've ever met. Wearing his O'Neill's. Which jersey is that? Canada?
Canada. I'm going to the World Games as soon as we finish here. I'm going up to Derry.
Right, so what's on in Derry?
The GA World Games. Teams from all over the world have showed up to play in Owenbeg, which is like Derry's county pitch. So I'm heading up there. So
what countries are there?
It's not just countries. There's amalgamation teams, but Asia's there, and then there's a Cambodian team. Australasia are there. There's a couple of teams over from America. A few teams over from England. So Spain, France, Germany.
So are the people, the German Gaelic team that are coming from Germany, are they Irish people living in Germany, or are they Germans?
There's 2 categories of teams. There's native teams, and then there's like Irish people that live over there.
Because it is popular, isn't it? It's getting
massive.
even popular. Like New York played in Croke Park recently and they won.
Yeah. And London GA have been part of like the league for a good while.
Yeah. London GA won the All-Ireland hurling in 1901. They've actually got an All-Ireland hurling championship.
Really?
Then that is a good while.
Imagine London has more All-Ireland than counties in Ireland. Than some counties in
Ireland.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Imagine like Leitrim winning an All-Ireland or something like that. Like. So it's good to see you. Good to see you guys. Now, also as well, you've brought some stuff today, Darren, because what have you brought into the studio to show us?
Have you just said that all gingers look the same by calling me Sean? Racism on this podcast.
Right.
Casual racism. Casual.
Yeah, casual.
It's not the one that can get you cancelled.
Yeah.
It's the casual racism.
Yeah, it's wearing a t-shirt and a blazer.
Yeah, right. What have you brought in? Because this is exciting.
I brought in stuff that, because we played a couple of weeks ago in the Man United game.
We embarrassed the Man United legends.
Yes, we did, because they should have beat us 12-0, but they didn't.
They didn't.
So
we
I got...
Did it right.
Well,
so you played in another Man United legends game recently?
Yes, in my hometown.
In Newry?
In Newry, and I got a ton of signatures from the lads.
Wow, right, so let's have a look.
So this is a mix of like the Belfast game and our game.
Okay, so who are these signatures?
So the upside down one is Brian McClare.
Right, what was he like? Did you chat to him?
He's very Scottish, very dour, but funny. He's I think you could probably take him the wrong way, but I know he's only joking.
Okay, cool.
He was cool. Karl Poborski, Yap Stam. Who else is up there?
Chris Eagles.
I didn't get Chris Eagles. I was just chatting him on the
Wes
bus.
Brown.
Wes Brown. No, he wasn't at the jury.
Paul
game.
Parker.
Paul Parker. I got Paul Parker is there.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so that was cool, man.
Are you going to frame that?
I might do. I actually had this thing up on Depop to sell it, so I had to remember to take it down after I got it signed.
Fair play, yeah.
Because I've been clearing out all my old jerseys.
And then they signed the Nuri one as well.
No, they didn't sign the Nuri one. I brought the Nuri one because I thought you'd find this funny. So number one, I got like a proper decal jersey.
Nuri City Legends versus Man United Legends.
Yes.
22nd of July. Very good.
And then because you always say that I'm the most Irish person you know.
32.
32, baby.
Oh, I knew it. 32 on the back. Matthews 32. And what's 32 stand? 32 counties. 32 counties in the island should be together. Should be united.
26 plus 6.
26 plus 6. It's 32.
So that was my
you are the most. Honest to God, if someone turned around to me and told me that you joined the RA, I'd be like, yeah, of course.
And I haven't.
That was Darren's natural progression. The most Irish of Irishness.
No.
Right.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
That's pretty good because we did have a good day when we played, didn't we?
It was lovely, and we had another lovely day.
We had. That was really, really good, really good. Sean, how are you?
I'm completely uninterested in the United top.
Who do you follow?
Liverpool.
Oh, right.
And you let him on this podcast.
Oh yeah, you followed Liverpool, yeah. I don't really mind Liverpool, because the reason why they probably hate Man United and Liverpool hate each other is because they're so similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Irish history, working class cities, etc., etc.
That's the thing. I hate Man United, but I massively respect Man United.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the same way, in a different way that I hate Man City, but I also don't respect Man City.
Yeah.
You know that way.
I hate Man City and I don't respect Man City.
Yeah.
I hate Man City.
Double
to me,
price.
Man City to me are the Limerick of hurling.
Yeah.
Like they just JP McManus comes in, chucks a bit of money at him, bang, 4 All-Irelands. It came out of fucking nowhere. It's like your dad coming back when you were 18. and all of a sudden your dad's now like he's at your fucking 21st, he's at your engagement, he's fucking paying for the christening, he's paying for the wedding, he's paying for all this stuff, he's paying for your new car, giving you a deposit on the house. He's like, yeah, I really appreciate the money, but where were you when I was developing as a child?
Exactly.
I hate.
That's exactly.
I don't like Limerick hurling team. I think I don't like Man City. I hate everything that isn't naturally grown.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
You think chucking money at it?
Limerick and Kilkenny there at the weekend was sort of like current day Man City and Man United playing each other, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because Kilkenny, the most successful team,
Well, Kilkenny, obviously, the Kilkenny Cats are renowned for being, as you know, Darren, you were at it.
Yeah, I was.
Right?
I was at it.
This is my summary, and you can see if you back me on this. The All-Ireland final between Kilkenny and Limerick was two top hurling counties. Kilkenny at half-time must have thought, oh, Jesus, we have them here, lads.
We're in with this.
We've won every breaking ball. They were playing with the wind.
Yes.
Right? Limerick at half-time must have been like, oh, lads, this isn't training. This is an actual game. What are we going to do? Look, let's just do 15. The coach was, lads, give us something.
Yeah.
Give us 15, 20 minutes of good hurling and we'll win it. And all of a sudden, in the second half, it was like, oh, this is getting awkward. Like, this was getting awkward for Kilkenny. Like,
it was the point where they scored, what was it, 4 points on the bounce?
Yeah.
I think it's 5 1 point.
5.
Now, the thing as well was they came out and they started scoring and we were like, oh, trouble time. Kilkenny got a goal and everyone was like,
Kilkenny have this. Kilkenny have this.
And then 6 on
Limerick just went, oh, they got a goal. Well done.
Oh.
Well done. You got a goal.
Yeah.
Watch what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And they just steamrolled them.
extra gear.
It was like watching, when Derry played Dublin.
Yes.
In
that league game.
Derry played Kerry in the semi-final. Like, Derry were actually doing really well. And then it was like 65 minutes in, you're like, just fuck. But Derry ended up losing by 5 points or something like that.
It was like 4 minutes of football from Kerry and they were done.
It's like Kerry Limerick. It's like they all sit at home, they all turn up, not sit at home. It's like Kerry Limerick turn up to the All-Ireland semi-finals or finals and be like, I suppose we'll give it a go after about 60 minutes. You know what I mean? Like the arrogance of them, they're so good.
Just hang in there.
Just hang in there.
And then go for it.
Oh, it's crazy. But it was a good day down there for you.
It was class, man.
Where do you get your tickets for the All-Ireland?
It's actually getting tickets for an All-Ireland final at
Hurrah. He's just in the rah.
No. It's through the Well, I got my tickets this time through the LGFA because I'm a qualified referee as well, and I have my connections. That's why I'm going to the World Games because I've met people from all over the world. So
yeah,
I'm going to go meet up with some people that I met when I was gigging in Asia.
Yeah.
So when I used to do gigs out there, I would like message people and be like, "Hey, I'm coming over and I'm an Irish comedian," and they'd bring like a contingency down to drink and watch the show, and it looks good when you're selling tickets.
Yeah.
So I do that. So I'm keeping.
You're a good man for the old
networking.
Networking, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'd say you'd be well able. I'd say I wouldn't be surprised if you togged out for Dublin and Kerry at the weekend.
No, not
because you had
good.
contacts in the Dublin changing room, and all of a sudden you were like fucking joining up, like.
No.
So yeah, last weekend was a really good weekend for sport. Obviously we do appreciate. We don't like to talk about sport a lot too much in the podcast because it switches a lot of people off. But great weekend for Irish sport, hurling, absolutely fantastic. This weekend coming up, we've got the football, Kerry versus Dublin. Again, no matter how often the GAA, and I tell you something, we spoke recently about the RT bank accounts and the barter account. The GAA need to be fucking looked at, man, because I can tell you something. I'd say their accounts there's barter accounts coming out of their arse.
Oh, here.
Do you know where the new president's from?
Where?
South Armagh.
South Armagh. There you go.
He hasn't taken charge yet, though, so he's
I'd say
he's
the
one of my own
GAA
Irish
finances must be corrupt.
I tell you something that I found fishy a couple of years ago. I used to have...
Hang on, only a couple of years ago. I've been playing all my life. You're really copping on that.
I used to have a poster in my bedroom, you know, and it had like a list of every All-Ireland winner, you know, and all the finals, the attendance, like, no, and it was just a big list of it. And so I had like loads of it memorised. And then one thing that always stood out, very few draws and very few replays. Until like 2016.
Oh, they love the replay.
And there was like...
Nice job, referee.
They love the replay.
In the space of like 3 years.
Yeah. Now, do you ever notice now that there's so many games now because you've got the round robins, you've got the championships, you've got the preliminaries, you've got the Tattling Cup. There's fuck all replays now. Yeah, I know they changed the rules, but like my point is like, we're getting the income anyway from somewhere else.
Now the extra time and the penalties has come in. They don't need. But years ago there's replays, and you'd be out of fortune.
Oh, what way did they do that? Like,
I went to Cork.
If it was all sewn up, what way would they do that?
I went to Cork Wexford once, right in Dublin. I went to Cork and Wexford, All Ireland semi final, and it was a draw. I think it was 222 to 125 or something like that, right? And it was phenomenal game of hurling, and you were driving home. You're like, I'm not coming up again next week. I'm not fucking coming up again next week.
Did you go next week?
Wexford won.
Oh, did you go?
No, I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go.
But that's the trick. Like. Anyway, listen, it is what it is. The GAA, it's a brilliant sport, and I imagine they're all corrupt. Again, that's not true, by the way.
Well, I mean, I'm going to the World Games now. I'll ask how many teams arrived on private jets if anybody.
But they're financing that themselves, like.
Yeah, they are. They're doing all of their own fundraising, so it's not too bad.
But then again, you know, you could drive through a village in Ireland. There could be 3 houses, a pub, and a blind dog, and there's a GAA pitch.
That's true as well. Also, one of the
things. Do you know what I mean? The GAA was sorry to interrupt. The GAA would be really good at running the health service.
And that team probably still has 3 county championships.
Yeah. I'd say people say like the health service is fucked. Let the GAA run it. They seem to be able to put facilities in every small town in Ireland, just like that.
But that is built on the back of I want to use the word volunteer there, but you'll make a ra joke, so no. It's built on the back of the people who are in the club because it's their community.
But you put the hospital in a community in a village, it will be their community.
Yeah, but you can't let Patsy who cuts the grass in the field run the hospital. That's a different thing.
But sure, the other people running it can't making a hymns of it anyway.
So there's no problem.
She might as well let it. I've always believed that we should be allowed buy and sell politicians like footballers.
Okay.
Do you know, for example, if we go, right, our Minister for Health is a load of shit, we're putting a 5 million bid in for the Minister for Health in Finland, because Finland have the best health service in the European Union. 5 years, 5-year contract, give them $1 million a year, or whoever it is, bring them over to Ireland and go, right, Johnny Skelensky here is the fucking new health minister or whatever.
It's like football managers.
Yeah, but for
it's
politicians.
like we'll have Trapattoni for a bit.
Yeah,
we would just have that just for like ministers.
We could send like the DUP and like the Healy Rays out on loan.
Yeah, send them out on loan
together.
Like, send the DUP to the Westoe Baptist Church in America. They can go out there. Send the Healy Rays. Do you know what I mean? Like over to the fucking island in fucking Greece. They'll put out the fires.
Yeah,
that's what it would be mad to do. Now, lads, listen. I know on the podcast we have a laugh, and we have a joke, but I saw something on Saturday night that kind of really upset me. And sometimes our listeners Well, every single person who socializes and goes out has been in this situation in their life, right? So I'm going to tell you what happened. I'm going to tell you what I did, and I want you. We'll have a bit of a discussion about it, right? Saturday, Julie says to me, I was supposed to go out Saturday night, right? I ended up not going out. Julie was doing a bit of work, and she said to me at about 9:30, she goes, "Do you want to go for a pint?" And I went, "I had Saturday night off," and I went, "Oh, jeez, I'd love a pint now." Don't get a lot of Saturday nights off, so I said, "Good." So we went out to Hollywood, and we went to a pub in Hollywood. I'm not going to name the name of the pub or anything like that. We went in, sat up at the bar, got the pint anyway, all really good. Behind me, there was two couples, not together, but they're on single tables. They're obviously two couples on date nights or whatever. Yeah. Okay, you know, you're in a bar and you're kind of like, "Oh, who's in tonight?" Like I've never actually, you know, I've been in the pub once, but I'd never been in there on a Saturday night, and that was really good. It was a good atmosphere. The staff were fantastic and all this. So we're sitting there anyway, and the two fellas who were sitting at the table had both gone to the toilet at the same time. So I think one of the ladies had leaned into the other ladies and said hello. Very casual, very friendly, all that kind of stuff. The fellas come back. Next thing you know, the two couples who didn't know each other were now talking as a group. They're you know, that's nice, isn't it? People go out, you get chatting to another couple, all well and good. And then all of a sudden, we hear one of the guys in the group just shout out really loud, "Are you fucking apologising for me?" And I'm sitting at the bar, so they're behind me now. And you just hear, you know the way when someone raises a voice, it stops the whole pub.
It draws attention.
Yeah, the musician that was playing was on their break. There was a young girl playing the guitar in the pub, right?
And the jukebox in the corner went,
Yeah. So there was no music. So now I'm sitting at the bar and I just turn around and I'm like, "Oh, what was that?" Thinking they were just a bit drunk.
Yeah.
But no, it was one of the guys was tearing into his lady. Nice. And it wasn't tearing it into it in a funny way. It was nasty.
In the pub. Surrounded by all the people.
Yeah. So now, the other couple were standing up. They were leaving. And they were like, whoa, calm down. So we're now thinking it's kicking off here in this pub. So me and Julie turn around and I'm like, what's going on over there? Now, it's one of those awkward situations. You know, like, you know, what do you do? Well, first of all, it's none of my business. Secondly, I just looked at it, ignored it, thinking it'll go away. Because that's what we're like as people sometimes. If I don't see it, I don't get involved. And he just kept on going. So next thing, one of the girl that was leaving said to the other girl, said like, "Are you okay? Do you need help? This guy you're with, obviously, an asshole kind of thing." She's like, "No, it's okay. I think they swapped numbers." And the couple left, and the pub kind of reset. If you see what I mean, everyone kind of reset.
It calmed.
But I'm up at the counter thinking to myself, I don't know, I'm getting a vibe off this guy with this girl, you know? So Julie very cleverly positions herself on her way in the seat to try and listen to their conversation. Because what if he's like abusing her, verbally abusing her, threatening her, and we can't hear it?
Yeah.
Because, you know, like a lot of the time you kind of hear stuff about, you know, vulnerable women in relationships. And I often think to myself, if a guy is going to abuse a woman in public, what's he doing to her? Behind the scenes.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there and we're not enjoying our drink now because we can see him popping. He's pointing at her. At one point he told her that she needed help. Now she was a very pretty girl. Very pretty. He was a fucking disaster, right? But she was very pretty. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on here? So I said it to the barman. I said, you need to keep an eye on that guy there behind us. And he's like, why? And I said, look, He's been quite verbally abusive to this girl. And I'm just a bit, very uncomfortable. So I spoke to another barmaid as well. The bar manager, in fairness to him, was on him, like, eyes on him. He was really good. So I thought, you know what, we've done what we can here. I don't want to go over and get involved in a domestic. It's, you know, it's not my scene. So anyway, it starts up again. And it gets, you know, you can just hear it. But it's not loud enough to... Now, the lady was playing the guitar. It started playing songs again. But you could just... Is
it like angry whisper?
Yeah, like you can... You know, that subtle abuse that just happens. That silent sort of shit. And I'm getting quite touchy at this point because I can see this girl is just taking it. I'm thinking, what is going on here? Now, your man must have been, I'd say, mid-30s. I'd say maybe she was late 20s, early 30s. So... they're kind of going again. So the girl comes up beside me to pay the bill. The bill was about £65. They were drinking cocktails all night. But behind me on my other side was a guy with his wife, and he must have been in his mid-50s. Big fella, like. And they're obviously facing them, watching them.
They're seeing the whole thing.
They're seeing the whole thing. And I'm kind of like looking over him. At one point I was trying to make eye contact with him to be like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like, what the fuck is going on here? Now, he's not did anything physical to the girl or anything like that. But abuse, verbal abuse, you know, gaslighting, manipulation, bullying and all. Now, I don't know what they were arguing about. She could have cheated on him and he just found out. So I could have been way off, like. But it's still, I was observing it and I was like, okay. You know, us as comedians, man, like, you know what we're like.
Just people watching everywhere.
We're people watching everywhere we go, you know. Like, so anyway, he starts kind of like kicking off again. But it's really subtle. And I'm like, fuck this. Like, I can see the girl's just taking it. So I swing around on the chair and I goes, I'm going over. Like, I'm going to go over because classic narcissists, you know, when you confront them, they hide.
Yeah.
They only like to control who they can control. And they don't like when they're not in control. And when they're confronted, they run away. But as I turned around, Julie went to me, no, don't. And I was like, okay. They got up to leave. And as they got up to leave, the big guy in his 50s, I'd say, that was sitting behind me, started on him. Hero. Absolute hero. And he was like, I don't like the way you're speaking to that woman. Now, the woman is trying to diffuse it as well.
Yeah.
And then this guy who was, as I call him, the prick, basically went over and was like trying to shake hands with the big guy in the 50s. And the big guy was like, get your fucking hand away out of me. Like, this guy wasn't taking any shit from him. And the guy was like, okay, you know, we're fine. We're good. Get the fuck out, treating the woman like shit. The other woman then held the other girl back and said, are you okay?
Yeah.
Do you need help? Are you okay? So everybody actually tried to do something to help the woman. But at what point do you do anything?
Yeah, because they're going to leave the venue.
Yeah, and it's like so hard to make a call. Like, do I go over and go, you're being a prick? You're not going home with him tonight. Like, they could have kids. Like, it's very difficult when you're in public.
And you don't know whether you're reading it wrong.
Exactly.
You're constantly saying to yourself, am I just taking this the wrong way? Is there
no, but it was
definite
abuse. It was definite abuse. Now, she could have done something like say to her, I've been cheating on you. Now, I don't know, but 99.9% certain that did not, because he looked like the kind of fucker that had that in him weekly.
But you done the right thing by going up to the bar and saying, like,
just keep an eye on this,
Just keep an eye on it, yeah. So I felt good in that, but I also was sitting there drinking a really nice pint, and I was getting tetchy because I didn't like the behaviour, and I'm not a confrontational guy.
I know.
But I was just a bit like going, I know, yeah, because I didn't go over. I get it. So they got up to leave anyway, and as they got up to leave, other people were like, what was going on? You know, everyone kind of like convened in the pub to kind of figure out what was going on. And the bar staff were like, what can we do here? You're like, what can we do?
Yeah.
She's been asked, is she okay? Another girl exchanged numbers with her. When the guy was trying to shake hands with the big guy behind me, the barman went over and was like, what's going on here? Well, there's a bit of noise coming from you. Because, oh yeah, we just had an argument, everything's fine, we're going to be fine. They both went outside, it was piss and rain. They both were on their phone trying to get cabs. And the manager was keeping an eye outside as well to see, did he start on her outside the pub?
Yeah.
And they weren't starting. But we were sitting in the pub and I just said to Julie, like, that girl, like, now, I can't say for certain, you know, what this was about. But if he's willing to, you know, to shout at somebody in public and say to her that she needs help and stuff like that, but it was the guy behind me would have heard the whole conversation and he wasn't happy. So I kind of go off his reaction that he was the prick, that she didn't do anything.
He'd heard what was being said.
And I just think to myself, like, what do you do, man? Like, what do you do? And have you ever like been out in a coffee shop? Have you seen a domestic? Have you seen, you know, parents and kids, elderly people even? Like, what? Like, how do you deal with these things, this situation?
The most common one for me is when I'm playing in the bars. And people come up to dance, and I can see everything that's happening, and it's like 9 times out of 10, it's a drunk fella that's come up to the dance floor, and he's like trying it on with like
girls,
you know, as many girls as he can, and sometimes it's either like a guy who's like, you know, he's trying it on with a girl that's significantly younger than him. Or sometimes the problem is just that it's someone very, very persistent, and you can see someone, you know, pushing back and resisting, and they keep coming back. and you've got like, you're trying to perform, but you're like watching it.
Yeah, you're like a bouncer as well,
yeah,
aren't you?
and you're sitting going like, you know, you've got 4 minutes to the end of this song, you know, to assess what's going to happen here, and hope that like this doesn't escalate too much until I get a chance to turn around and say to a bouncer. And you're also trying to think, is this worthy of going to the bar stuff?
Yeah.
It's that thing, but you're also in the middle of playing while doing it. But what I find as well sometimes is, you know, if you're in the middle of Belfast and something like that happens, like there's usually a bouncer there, you know, cathedral quarters, stuff like that. There's always at least 1 or 2 bouncers about, so you can say, like, this person's hassling this person, just keep an eye on them. Like, they haven't done anything yet, but it just looks a bit suspicious.
Prevention is better than cure. Like.
Yeah, so just keep an eye and make sure they don't, like, because you don't want to get someone thrown out for...
Then you're a target then for grassing them up.
Exactly.
Drunk, yeah.
So I do that, and usually in Belfast, as I say, always gets acted upon, and you always see the bouncer really watching, or just plain throwing them out if they have done something. But and not to get at bars out in the country, but like typically when you play, you know, somewhere out in the sticks or like a small town or village, like, and you go up and say to the bar, look, your man there, he is being like a complete asshole. He's knocked people's drinks over. He has been in this girl's ear all night, and her friends are trying to drag her away, like, and she's saying no, and he keeps coming back, and they go, sure, that's Jim. Don't worry about Jim.
Yeah, but
and you get that all the time. You're like, for Jesus' sake, like,
see, your example is you're in a bar, so you've seen this, and what you saw was in a premises.
Yeah.
Where this can also go terribly wrong if you're reading the situation incorrectly was when we were playing in bands. We were in Warren Point one night.
Yeah.
And we were outside the venue. We just loaded up. And one of the guys in the band saw a man slap his girlfriend. And he went over like, hey, what are you doing? And he grabbed the guy and whacked him. For
one of your guys?
One of my guys hit the fella who had slapped the girl. And next thing he said, he was holding the guy like this. And he was like, what the fuck are you doing? And next thing he felt like the stinging pain in the back of his head. He turned around and the girl who had just been slapped had hit him with a stiletto heel.
Yeah.
So she had been slapped.
Fucking hell.
My mate hit the guy, and then she was like, what are you doing to my boyfriend? And hit my buddy. My friend turned around and went, I'm just trying to help you. And when he turned around again, the other guy broke my mate's nose. So he went in the night in Shining Armour, and he was like, I got my nose broke for sticking up for a lady who was getting battered by her boyfriend. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Every situation is so different and so volatile. What do you do? To me, it was like notify the right people, and then ultimately hope that if you're in that premises, the management of that premises will deal with the situation. Because, like you said there,
but that was outside the premises.
But you know, if I went over to that guy in that pub on Saturday night now, and I fucking started on him, I said, "Why don't you fucking abuse me? Why don't you ever go at me?" He could have just knocked me clean out.
Yeah. Or you'd have been put out. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? And then there's back to square one again.
Yeah, I say the country, but also like places like when I play in the West or in Ardoyne or something as well, where it's maybe a bit rougher too, and there's no there's no doorman, there's just bar staff.
Yeah.
And it might be like, you know, an 18-year-old or 19-year-old on the bar that night, or there's 2 of them, and you go up to them and say, what are they going to do about it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can't put someone out of the bar.
The wording is de-escalation, isn't it? That's what you're trained, is to de-escalate. If there's a heightened situation, you separate, you bring it down, and you get it resolved calmly. That's what bouncers are trained to do, is to de-escalate until it comes to a point where they have to attack you first, and then you can defend yourself. Isn't that right?
That's the way it should. That's the way it probably should be, but that's never the way bouncers actually treat it.
But when I worked in the bar in Australia, our bouncers started at 6 o'clock. But on a Friday, all the boys would finish work at 1 or 2. They would finish early, and they would come into the pub then. So they bring all the work vans, and we had a rule that you couldn't wear like your high vis colours. You know, they have to wear all their safety gear. You couldn't be in the bar after 4 o'clock in your high vis. So the guys would have to be like, go home or go get changed and come back kind of thing. So we were doing that, but there was a fight broke out outside over a young lady. And I was like, what time is it? 5 o'clock. Somebody said, there's a fight outside, no bouncers for an hour. I'm in the bar with a lady from Kerry and a young Australian guy called Cooper. And we went, right, and me and Cooper ran out. And he goes, what do I do? I goes, just grab somebody. I goes, don't hit anybody, just grab somebody. And we grabbed.
Just look physical.
Yeah, look. And we dived in, and I just grabbed the guy. I was like, whoa, get out of it, and I fucking dragged the guy over a wall. And we had it all totally calmed down. And I was like, it was a couple of Kiwis and a couple of Irish guys. And the Irish guys, I was like, up the top of the car park, or you're barred. They walked up the top, out of the way. And I got the boys, right, boys, off the premises. We're going to put everyone off the premises, but you're going first. They walked down, and everything was calm. And there was one wee guy with him who wasn't an Australian guy, who wasn't in the fight. He didn't hit anybody. And right at the end of the fight, I had everybody calm, and he just shouted up the car park, "You're lucky it wasn't me, cunt." And I was like, I'm going to kill him.
Because he waited until they were all gone.
Yeah, and then he ran off. And then this all calmed down. The bouncer showed up and was like, "How was your day?" I was like, "I'm covered in blood, lads. Not great."
That's the equivalent of the guy in the fight that goes, "You're lucky he's holding me back."
Yeah.
But I tell you, if I was there, you'd just see what I would have done.
But it was the de-escalation. I was like, don't hit anybody, just grab somebody. This boys with this, I just grabbed this guy. I was like, no.
But then again, if that happens every Friday, I'd look at the management and the pub and go, why is there no security there from 3 o'clock?
But it only happened once there when I was there for a year.
Okay, yeah. So it's a one-off event then.
Yeah, but I was, you're just pulling back. There's a fight. Oh, Jesus.
And you walk on, so that's Leash again. That's Jim. That was Jim.
Let that pint sell.
But it's like, I often say to people listening and watching to this, like, what do you do? Like, so comment on the YouTube there. Like, have you seen anything, basically, where you've been out in public, or even, like, supermarkets, parents, like, slapping kids and stuff? Like it's
everything
awkward,
is so case by case.
Yeah, it's so case by it's so fucking awkward because you're like, we always hear these things about, it's about let's all speak out now and stand up for people, and it's all very easy to do that on a tweet. Hey, if you see something, you need to step in and you need to protect and all that. Goes, yeah, it's very, very easy to say that on a fucking social media. This is what I would do. But when the reality happens, it's very difficult to make an on-the-spot decision and hope that is the right decision.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine was in London and she saw a guy, he was probably in his 70s, punch his wife, and she was in her 70s, in the car. So they blocked the car in, called the police. And he said, oh, my wife's got dementia. He said, why the fuck are you hitting her?
Yeah.
Anyway, the police came anyway, and she stayed, gave a statement, blah, blah, blah. But the police were like, yeah, they can go back home again together. And we'll call round to the house and do a welfare check. And that was it. Like, he could have been hitting her for 20 years.
Yeah. That was only when it was seen.
Like, so, I don't know, but it kind of shook me, like, to see that. And you kind of say, should I have stepped in? No, we notified the authorities. He got called out by other people in the bar, But I was going home that night and I was thinking to myself, I'd love to have just a little right hook. Just, even though I wouldn't have done it. But when in your head, I was actually getting ready for bed that night and I was actually going, like that. How would I get the full force?
When was the last time you hit somebody?
I've never hit anyone. So, do you know what I mean?
You've never hit anybody? Not even playing football or hurling or rugby?
I think I've done an open slap, but I've never done a closed.
You Ric Flair?
Never done I've never done a closed fist.
Okay.
Have you punched someone in the face?
Yeah.
What's it like?
What do you mean, what's it? What, like, not the box?
Is it good, like?
What is it good?
No, but like street fighting.
Oh, like it doesn't feel. You should.
Have you ever like been beaten up?
Yeah.
How? When?
I got really randomly jumped in Uri when I was like 15 by two guys. We were sitting outside the pool hall. These two guys jumped me, and this is how I knew this beating was not for me, because they kicked the shit out of me. As I went to get up, so basically a guy walked up and he had his face covered. And I was like, what's going on here? And he bang hit me. I hit the ground. As I went to get up, I turned over and I just saw this boot coming. The guy kicked me in the face. And then the reason I knew it wasn't for me, because the guy randomly screamed, "You got me 6 months," and then ran off. And I was like, who was that? Like, we didn't know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know the guys.
All the guys came into
the pool hall to be like, what the fuck's going on? And they chased the guys up the road. But I was like, what just happened? But I got the shite out of
it. Did you ring the police?
No, I didn't. Just went home. Went home and got cleaned up.
But have you ever punched anyone?
Yeah.
What's that like?
You never been a fight when you were a kid in school or anything?
Yeah, but nothing overly physical. A lot of pushing and shoving and stuff, but nothing like no fucking street stuff. Like,
okay, well, there could be the bad side of this as well was when I left. I went to a grammar school in first year, and then I went to the high school, which was closer to my house. In second year, I left. I was like, I don't like this school. I'm going to go somewhere else. Now, while I was in the grammar school, I got into a fight with a guy who had a speech impediment. But then the rumour mill started, and when I got to my new school. So I left the school to just move schools. When I got there, one of the guys who I'd went to primary school went, I heard they kicked you out because you beat up a guy with special needs.
That's not funny.
But I was like...
That is not funny.
I punched a man with a speech, but he punched me first, to be fair.
Did that make you protected? Like, the people didn't want to go near you because you were like, oh, Darren... If you're disabled, Darren goes for you.
No,
like.
but that would have been a target. It would have been like, that prick fucking beats up guys.
You're like a paedophile in prison. Like.
Yeah. Beats up the disabled.
That's
but I was like, no.
Darren Matthews, paedophile in prison.
So that's okay to say to me? Have you ever been punched in the face?
No, but I'm not far off. I'll be honest with you. Sean, you I know we've spoken about you on this before. You've been in fights, but have you ever physically punched anyone? Like first things first. Have you ever I don't want to go off topic here, but first things. I know when we talk about my situation on Saturday, we were talking about things you see in the pub and stuff like that. But have you guys ever intervened?
Yes.
In a situation where in a coffee shop in public where you've seen a domestic, children, abuse, what happened to you? Now, I'm not talking about alcohol now. I'm talking about just on a Sunday afternoon. You're like, what the fuck's going on over there, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, well, I used to manage coffee shops and stuff, so I had to basically go and make sure somebody's okay, because you can hear. We had like a little back part of like a snug sort of area of the coffee shop. I was making coffee and I could hear kind of shouting. I was like, what the fuck's that? So I was like, hey, guys, jump on there. And I walked around and there was basically a guy shouting at the lady, and I just went around. I was like, excuse me, is everything all right? And the guy's like, yeah, mate, yeah, no, all good. And I was like, no, is everything all right? Because there was nobody else in here. So as in, they were the only two people in there. And I was like, miss, you okay? And he was like, she's fine. I said, I didn't ask her. So as you said, it's the control thing of...
Yeah, it's
when
about
confronted, he was like, no.
It's the control. When you confront them, they back down straight away, because they're fucking narcissistic pricks.
Yeah, straight away. And then I basically said, I was like, right, whenever you're finished, I was like, miss, if you need to stay for another while, that's perfectly fine. I just left at that, and then, but the same again, they left together, so it didn't matter. But it was just to be like, what the fuck's going on?
What can you do, though?
Well, that's it. I could only control it within the environment I'm in. Once they leave, it's up to yourself. I remember a friend of mine... But
he'll probably blame her now for you coming over.
For making a scene.
That's what they'll do. Like.
Yeah. It's for making a scene.
Do you know what I mean? That's the control. That's the gaslighting. Like.
Yeah.
What about you, Sean?
The only time that sort of thing has happened, that there was like a situation with like one of the young people I was working with, but I wouldn't be able to talk about it enough, and I wouldn't talk about something that happened with young people, But
so what you do is just tell us a generic event.
No, I wouldn't say, but it was just a type of thing. It was like, it was a young lad, and it was just the way like he got on with like his girlfriend and stuff. I had to end up sit and have a yarn with him and stuff.
Was he like not treating her right?
Yeah, and I just noticed wee things about his demeanor and like the way he spoke, and like I just ended up bringing it up with like, because obviously every youth organisation has to have child protection.
Safeguarding.
I haven't heard of those,
so like I went to a child protection officer one week and just says, what should I do about this if I see it still happening, and I did, like something happened again, and I ended up just taking him aside, like sitting down having a chat with him about respect, and then saying like making sure that his girlfriend and stuff was okay, and making sure that like her friends knew what was going on, stuff like that, so
make other people aware so they can keep. That's good of you though. Like, I mean, it
has to be.
But then you don't know how. Like I've spoken to somebody before about their behaviour to their wife. Numerous times where I would have witnessed them being abusing their wife, and when I brought it up to them, I was the problem.
For asking.
For confronting them.
Oh.
See what I mean? Yeah. They would say, oh, would you go away and mind your own business? And then you bring it up again, and what happens is that person then goes around bad-mouthing you because they're trying to deflect the attention away from them.
Okay.
You kill, like Donald Trump, for example, is a perfect example. Donald Trump, you are charged with the following offences. But if it's the Democrats, he totally ignores the offence that he's charged with.
Yes.
You just move the dial to the person that's attacking you. So, like, that's the classic narcissist, like someone like Donald Trump does that. Like, you lost the election. Hillary Clinton should be... Why are you talking about Hillary Clinton? They don't deal with what the actual issue is.
Yeah.
They just go off and attack somebody else to try and divert attention. Yeah. But everyone's tired of the same argument all the time with him. And now the net is finally closing. You know, it just takes time. So what happens is, I think when you confront a narcissist or a dangerous person or something like that, a lot of them don't like confrontation. They don't, because they're not used to people standing up to them. And when you stand up to them, they back down. They're fucking wimps. They back down. And then they go off and badmouth the people that are standing up to them. Do you see what I mean? To discredit them.
Here's the thing, though. Do you think comedians are natural narcissists?
Oh yeah, but I think we have every aspect in our wallet. It's just a matter of how exposed that aspect is to daily life.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Here's a good. It's a bit off topic, but have you ever come to blows with another comedian on a show?
I've had massive arguments with comedians in green rooms,
Yeah.
but I've never had a physical situation. No.
Yeah. But like, how bad has like the argument got? Like shouting.
What about you, Darren?
No, I've had to have a word with people about, but it's just professionalism kind of stuff.
What do you mean? Like what? Just
timing. How you don't go out and treat audiences like shit. You know, because I'm kind of similar. When I MC, I try to be quite friendly and hey, we're gonna have a great night, everybody. It's gonna be so much fun, and you know, you're like the rep. We're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, well, you're the salesperson.
Yeah, and then
like.
somebody gets up, and they're just like, "Oh, you look like a fucking," and they just get torn. And I was like, "Hey, don't do that. I've done a lot of work to get them nice for you."
Yeah, but there's a way of having the crack with the audience. Like when I chat to the audience, whatever. Like
they know you're taking the piss.
But I always compliment them. Like, "Oh my god, you look amazing, man.
Yeah.
Where are you from? You're like 12% body fat. You're ripped, man. I mean, I wish I was you. Like,
yeah,
they're feeling amazing. Whereas you buy it in the next thing you have to crack with them. And you take, but it's always warm.
Yes.
You know, I have people that have come to some of my shows and they've actually said, I actually want to sit at the front because it's good crack. Whereas
it's a balance.
But you can see the nastiness in other people.
Yeah, but then I've had to say to them, hey, don't bring that here. That's the audiences just read energy and you can just kill a room.
Oh, and also as well as, you know, people that turn up to a gig, say there's 100 seats and there's 40 people in, to go, say to the audience, it's not even half full, guys. You're patronising the people that have made the effort to be here.
Yeah.
I've done many a gig. My first ever second Edinburgh show, opening night, 3 people. I did the hour to 3 people. And I went, thanks for coming.
Yeah, job done. I did my job. Gotta go.
And they came to see me every year since.
Sure.
Because they didn't cancel the show. I know this is going to be a bit shit, lads. No, it's not. You perform it, and they will pick it. You break the awkwardness, they relax.
Yeah.
When you were starting out, would you have found that before you're getting the better bookings when you're playing in a corner to a guy and his dog?
Big time. Speaking about Nuri, I think the worst gig we ever done was in the Amplify bar, above the Phoenix, and we played to the sound guy, and
you just played to the sound guy,
and 2 girls that came in, and the promoter even left the support band.
That's so awkward.
It was atrocious, and not only that, the sound guy was a cheeky bastard, like the cheekiest sound guy I've ever had.
Nothing to know. The sound guy wasn't amplified.
I just remember, and it was sound checking, and we were quite young, as well. And the promoter told us beforehand, was like, yes, we book these shows and they're always pretty full. You know, we'll push the hell out of it. Don't worry about backline. We'll sort you out with backline and stuff like that. And
I can imagine the backline that was there when you got there.
I think they completely forgot about the show, to be honest with you, because we got down and there was nothing there. It was just a sound guy and the support band were sitting there what's happening here? Where's the backline? We've been here for 45 minutes. I was like, we were told there was one coming. We rung them up. And the guy sounded like he was getting out of bed at 8 o'clock at night. He's like, all right, yeah. Coming down now. And we went out and we saw them opening up a music shop down the street. Where Ava drum kit out of it.
Oh, I know what that was. Yeah. But so you're going from the point we're saying, have we ever had to talk to somebody? And you're like, we had to talk to the guy who was running the show.
Yeah. And,
we just have to talk to other comedians.
It was just horrible. But I just remember turning around to the lads and going just act like the room's fine.
Yeah. But that's what you have to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Ed Sheeran's busking on the street when he was starting out.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber was busking on the street when he was starting out.
Yeah.
How do I know that? I have not typed in Justin Bieber as a kid in YouTube. Can I just say? I just saw clips on Ellen or something. But the stuff I've done on comedians and green rooms, Darren, is it's mostly...
Say it too, don't say Donald.
No, but do you know what? I would say 95% of comedians couldn't be nicer.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's the 5%, the assholes. It spreads like wildfire. Like, I know who the assholes are in Dublin. I haven't even met them yet. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone talks about it. Like,
yeah, and there's an etiquette, the gigging and stuff as well, isn't there? In terms of like,
oh yeah,
you know, the simple things like turning up on time, playing within your set times, being respectful of the staff, being respectful of the audience,
and
sort of thing. And when people go outside of it
gets weird. That's why I believe every 18-year-old in Ireland should do 1 year's, not military service, but 1 year's customer service. Every single 18-year-old, when they do the Leaving Cert, they have 3 months off. They then have to do a year in customer service before they go to university. And they have to understand what it's like to deal with the public, to be a member of the public, get paid fucking shit so they appreciate this could be my life if I don't work. Or if I mistreat people, I don't want to get on in life. I actually think, I know the Greeks do it, the Koreans do it, the military service. We should have it in this country. Customer service.
I think I made a pitch to you before that you have to work in a bar for a year and you get kicked out of the country for a year. Like, you need to leave. You need to realise we're not the centre of the universe. Go and beat somebody somewhere else.
Yeah. You have to do it a year out of the country.
And be sound.
Only in Ireland would we be actively trying to emigrate our own people. Lads, you need to leave for a year. Why is that? Because you need to just get out and learn other things and come back.
Do it in Germany. Like,
Did it?
Yeah, like it's like an option, like I know like people here have like an informal gap year.
Yes.
But like in Germany it's like, it's like a box you tick, whether you want to do it or not. So before you go to university, like you say, right, like I'm gonna go do it's what they call volunteer year. So like, and you get sponsored by an organisation. Sometimes it's like the church you're, a part of or whatever. And they'll send you to somewhere, and it's usually somewhere pretty shit. So a lot of them come here.
So this is pretty
shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Are you serious?
So they either get sent.
So Germans think this place is pretty shit.
Yeah, so they come to places that like
fuck off. Go fuck yourselves.
They come to Belfast, or they go to the Balkans, or they go to Chile. Like,
are you actually sort of Belfast is up there with the Balkans and Chile?
I wonder then and go to Argentina to see their grandes. Anyway.
Oh,
that was good. Fuck off.
Have you seen Oppenheimer yet? Have you seen Oppenheimer?
No.
Oh, Cillian Murphy going to get an Oscar for that?
Oh, what?
He'll definitely get an Oscar for that. He'll have to be nominated for best.
Cork in the Los Angeles. This new podcast.
Cork in the Los Angeles. He's a handsome man, isn't he?
It is.
Cillian Murphy's unreal. I think he's brilliant. I remember in Irish A level, part of it is that you have to like write like an opinion piece on like you have like a set amount of what do you call GAR scanning, so short films, and they're just like 10-15 minute films, and it tells a wee short story. And there's one called Fillin and Fall or Nyalera. So like basically what goes around comes around. And Cillian Murphy is one of the stars in it.
Oh really? Does he do Gaelic in the film?
Yeah. And
is he a Gaelic?
I'm not sure if he's a Gaelic.
I'd say he's got a good level. I wouldn't say he's
probably he probably has a good bit. But he plays this like he's a gangster, but like he's like maybe 20 in it.
Yeah.
At the oldest. But him and this other guy from Dublin have to drive out to the sticks because they're doing some sort of drug deal or something, right? And they turn up and they basically get swindled right out of the drug deal, and they're like, God's sake. And so they're heading back to Dublin, and they stop off to make a sandwich. And there's this like wee camper van sitting at the side of the road at like a picnic station, and this wee woman comes out, and like it's going, oh lads, just want a cup of tea and blah blah, and they go, aye, all right then. They go in, and she's watching the lottery, while she's away making the cup of tea. She's like, check them numbers for me, would you? See if I've won anything. Aye, as if, and they check the lot. They're like watching the lotto, and she's got all the numbers. And they're like, here, we can make our money back.
So they're trying to steal a lotto ticket.
So they steal a lotto ticket, and fly off and go to a local garage and give in the lotto ticket. And then next minute, the guards all swarm the place because the wee woman was like an agent. So the whole drug deal was set up, you know, because they needed to catch these like 2 gang members. So like it was all set up, and then so they had the last night's lotto playing on the screen.
Oh, and they bought the ticket.
And then they bought the ticket with the thing, and so they went to cash it in, so they knew exactly, you know, what garage they were at. So
Thanks, Sean. Don't need to watch that now, do you?
And it's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's class. And
what year was that filmed?
it must have like early 2000s.
Because his first film, I think, was Disco Pigs,
or
wasn't it? It was
maybe
Disco Pigs was his first film.
Yeah, because he'd done the play of that.
And then he was doing like what?
It would have been 90s then.
Yeah, it would have been definitely would have been 90s. I think he became quite popular in the late 90s. Well, he started to get somewhere in the late 90s. But he's a fabulous actor, and he's brilliant in interviews as well because he hates talking about himself or anything, and he's very reluctant interviewee, isn't he?
I love when they were explaining memes to him or something. Where was there a meme? I was like, there's a what?
It's very old fashioned, isn't it?
A what?
Yeah.
It's like a wee photo and there's a photo of me. No. It's like a photo, but there's text on it. So somebody's just written on a photo of me. No. It's like, what are you talking about?
He's too old. He's 46, 47.
I know, but I feel like he's probably, when he's not at, he's maybe like a Daniel Day-Lewis. He's just out of the spotlight. But he's not at celebrity parties. He's not fucking about.
Mm-hmm. I think when you're at that level of fame or success or whatever,
you can't go anywhere.
You can't, but you could decide to not get involved in the whole whirlwind of things. You know, you can.
Well, part of his contract is to be at these premieres and be at these interviews. He's fucking furious that he has to do it. I'd say, but he has to sell the film.
I'd say to that, he's like, no phone. You know what I mean? Just like
fuck off, leave me alone.
Yeah. Nice.
I want to raise. No, he lives in Dublin.
Does he live in Dublin?
He lives in Dublin. Lived in London for years. My brother went to university with him. I think he was a year above my brother. My brother said he hung out with him once, but like in a group, like he wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have known him. He went to UCC. He wouldn't have. He knew who he was, but he wouldn't have known him. Like, do you know, kind of thing. Like, you know. So interesting. I'm going to go and hopefully see that film pretty soon. But yeah, like, so I wanted to. So it's mad how like we all have. Every single person has a different experience when it comes to dealing with public disturbances or public confrontation, isn't it? It's strange, but it really shook me, like, seeing that.
Yeah.
Like. So I want to see if anyone listening or watching, put in a comment below and let us know. Have you ever witnessed anything? Have you ever done anything? Have you ever done anything and got it wrong as well? Have you ever done anything like that and got it wrong?
Oh, like read the situation wrong?
Completely wrong, yeah.
It's probably happened to MCN a few times. You two together? Brother and sister? Yeah. Sorry. Stop shifting them then.
I know, yeah. It's absolutely insane.
Where's from Anna? Grand job.
Yeah. Oh, sure, that's standard, isn't it? That's fucking standard.
When you talk about people watching, though, something that happened on Saturday night.
What?
After the game, we all went to... So one of the sponsors of the Newry Football Club owns the pub. And we got on the bus and we took all the players out to the pub because it was kind of more private than being in the town.
Yeah.
And I was walking around the pub drinking it. My brother was there. I chatted to him for a bit. I was chatting to some of the guys that were playing. And then just in the corner, on his own, having a Guinness, or sitting with his good lady wife, Karl Poborski.
Former Man United and Czech Republic winger.
Yes. Just sitting there, looking around him.
Having a pint.
And I went over and I said, hello, did you enjoy today?
Did you say it in that accent?
Yes. Because he said to me, I can understand you much better than everyone else.
Oh,
and
right.
I said, this is not my accent. I said, this is approximately 25% speed. And he went, would you like to join us? So I sat for an hour and had pints with Karl Poborski.
So what was he like?
He was lovely, and his wife was lovely, and they're very well educated people. They live in Prague. They were telling me about when he lived in Manchester. He played for Benfica. He played for Lazio. Now he's living at home and they've got kids. And he was telling me, basically the Czech Republic is exactly the same as Ireland. Some people never leave their wee villages, and that's just the centre of the universe. He was like, I lived in all these places. I have a brother and sister that still live in the village I'm from.
Wow.
So you think of these famous people.
And what did he talk about his career at United? Did he give you much insight? Or like, what does his wife do? Does she work?
I think she was an artist.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's
and
cool.
Had he ever been to like Belfast and Newry and all these places?
No, but they love their part of the gig was that they arrived 2 days early and stayed in Dublin. So they went to Trinity College, went to Guinness. They did all the, and I was like, you need to go and see more of Ireland. I said, did you enjoy it here? And did you like Belfast? He says, yeah, I really liked it. I want to come back. It's like a free holiday for them. They come over, kick about, play a charity match.
But they're getting paid as well.
They're getting paid to do it as well. But he came over and he was like, yeah, it's great.
And what's he doing himself these days?
They're just retired, enjoying life.
He's fucking plenty of money, like.
Yeah, exactly. And they live in Prague, which is a lower cost of living, so it's fine.
And did he tell you any stories or anything?
I was just asking about. I actually ended up talking to him more about not football, but about his travels. I love travel and stuff. But his football career, he said he was very fortunate. I asked him about the Euros because everyone talked about that was when he peaked.
Yeah.
Euro '96, he was unbelievable. And then I was asking him about playing for United. He said, "Yeah, it was great." We actually had a full discussion about. I explained to him how the GA works, and his mind was blown. About you have to play where you're from. There's 32 counties, 4 provinces, all this kind. And he was just going, "No one gets paid." No, I said, I'm going to Croke Park tomorrow. It's going to be 86,000 people. Those guys nobody's getting paid. And the guy was like, what? But they were very nice. And then they were laughing because I was showing my tattoos. And I was like, that's where I'm from. That's my football team. That's my county. And he just couldn't grasp this, that you couldn't progress to... I said, look, if you move countries, you can play for somebody else.
Yeah.
But if you're within reach of your hometown, you have to drive back. Like, there's loads of guys, students in Belfast, that are driving up and down the road to play in Tyrone and Armagh.
Yeah.
So
they're going down there like 3 nights a week.
Yeah,
for training.
he could not grasp this, but he was very impressed. And his wife said, so even though they have a great life from football, she was like, that's beautiful. That's much better than soccer these days. And I was like, well, probably not complaining in your nice house, but
yeah.
I think they mean now for the 300,000.
Did he say anything about like Manchester United?
Yeah.
Any stories? Anything about Keane or anything? Because I'm obsessed with Roy Keane.
No, because I didn't ask him about individual players. I just said, what was your experience? And he said it was brilliant. But even playing for United in the 90s was, they had like the 2 places. Was it the Cliff and what was the old training ground? They didn't. Carrington now is not what he trained in. They were still changing in the shed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
But he would have had gigs. Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Cantona.
He was kind of the replacement for Andrei Kanchelskis.
Yeah, the Andrei Kanchelskis only came for a couple of years.
Yeah, he went to Rangers, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a fucking disaster. He came from Everton, didn't he?
Yeah, he talked about the old system where they had the European Cups. You could only pick 3 foreign players. So he said sometimes you'd be playing really, really well, but every game it would have to be Peter Schmeichel, Dennis Irwin, and Roy Keane, so you wouldn't get to play in some European games.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Oh, I was playing really well," and they were like, "No," or Cantona was playing, "No," yeah, kind of stuff. So
yeah, that's mad. That's an amazing experience that those guys were coming to places like Newry.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
He was in Bestbrook across from my old school drinking pints of Guinness and really loved it.
And I'd say no one recognised him.
Nobody recognised him. That's why I knew what he looked like from playing football. Well, and he invited me to join him, and he was the nicest man.
What about you, Darren? Because you've been quite a few places, but is there somewhere that's top of your, to-go list?
Where everyone should go?
No, just where you haven't been and you
want to go to.
Oh shit, yeah. I haven't been to South America.
Really? I thought you'd have been all over that, man.
No, man. I've been.
Is it the?
It's the language barrier, probably.
But is that the only continent you haven't been to?
Antarctica.
Yeah.
That's the push. No, I think I'll be aiming to try and do, because Argentina has the 5th biggest paddy's den in the world.
I want to
Buenos Aires.
I want to go to Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is on my.
And the second biggest Oktoberfest.
That's true. From the joke earlier.
It's very cheap there, isn't it?
One of my mates who travelled Asia with us, she was in South America for 6 weeks, and they got plenty in. I think Chile was the dearest one. Say it was class. So I want to see that. I want to see the Andes.
Yeah.
I want to see.
I really want to go to South America. I might
Peru,
if I ever get married.
Honeymoon.
If I ever get married, I'm not but if I ever get married.
Right. I'm just going to go on holidays. I don't need to get married to go to South America.
Yeah, I know. But you know what I mean? I can fucking go anywhere.
Honeymoon is a great excuse to just spunk money on a...
All right, mate. The wrong choice of words there. Yeah. Honeymoon is a great excuse to just spunk. And then if I cut that clip...
That's very Catholic. Honeymoon, I want the child when you're coming back.
Yeah, that fucking child is mine.
That's the way people have been acting. I swear to God.
What?
Yeah, sure, he's married now. So
do you think you should be having kids now?
No, it's not like that. But
well, sorry, you're from the West. I probably thought she was pregnant before you got married.
Every single person has been like, well... When's the child coming? Alright.
How do you get one? Where do you get them? How do you get them?
Yeah, are they on Amazon?
Why would you know?
Well, my Prime cover the delivery.
I know. Darren, you've got some gigs coming up. Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing.
I'm doing, on Saturday the 5th of August, I'm doing Fighting Fit, which is a show all about boxing, mental health, some of my travels, what happens when your travels end and you realise you're sitting in your man's house and you're 33. Yeah. That was tense.
Yeah.
So that's the basis of the show.
Having to get a life.
Having to get a life. Yeah, it was terrifying. So scary. So that was.
So that's about maybe you're traveling and you're coming home to kind of continue with your life and stuff.
Yeah. It was the literal like a full stop on. Oh, that's the end of the visas. That's the end of all those things.
Like, could I get a visa for Australia?
No.
Fuck.
Because you're over
America?
35. I think of America if you've got money to let you in.
$6,000. $6,000 for 3 years, isn't it?
Is it? Is that what a green card
That's
is?
what Aaron McCann told me.
Oh, for the performers visa?
That's a different type of visa. That's the $6,000 a year get you in visa.
Oh, is it?
No, I don't know.
Oh, fucking hell. Wouldn't put it past America, man. Wouldn't put it past America. So wait, so you're doing the show, where are you doing it?
Deer's Head in Belfast.
Right. That's the 6th.
That's the Saturday the 5th. The
Saturday
6th is a
5th.
different gig. That's the one you're coming to.
Yes, because on the 5th I'm in Glasgow, and
Yes.
on the 6th I'm going to come in and turn up and do 10 minutes, because I'm starting to do new material now for
are.
a 2024 tour.
So during the beer tasting, because you've done one before where you rock up, you just do 10 minutes while people are having their little beer sample.
Try out a couple of gags. It's in
Exactly.
the same place as well before.
Same place. So I'm doing two different shows in one weekend. Because I am an idiot.
Good man.
So it should be fun.
Excellent stuff, man. That's really, really good. But you're keeping well, and it's good that you came in and chatted to us. And good catch up to you. But what I'm fascinated with is about, like, I kind of would get the feeling that you're the kind of guy that by the time you're 35, I could see you living in fucking Argentina. You're that kind of fella.
I'm 37.
45. I meant, sorry, 45. But you know my
Maybe.
point, like, you know, like I could see you
just be content.
You just be content moving.
Yeah.
You're
There's
a
been
mover.
There's been loads of places I've been where I was thinking, if you had a couple of quid, you'd just sit here. It'd be great.
Yeah.
You know, like the little islands in Asia and stuff, just, you know, sunsets and you're having a beer and going, yeah, I could do this. I could retire here.
Good stuff. Well, Darren, how do people buy tickets for the show?
Tickets for the show are on Eventbrite. You can follow me on Instagram, Darren Matthews Comedian. The links are on there as well.
Yeah.
All the socials, all the links are all over that stuff.
Okay,
So.
cool. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean, thanks for coming on the episode.
No problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've a Patreon episode being dropped on Monday as well at 6 o'clock with myself, Sean and Aaron. Thanks to everybody that's listened to this podcast. Buy some merch. Buy it, please. Sign up to the Patreon. Tickets to the work in progress for me and Aaron. You can also see the special before anyone else. You get 3 hours extra a month of extra content. You get discounts on the merch for £3 a month. It's less than a price of coffee. If you've been listening to this podcast and you dip in and dip out and you can do 1 episode a month, 2 episodes a month, you're getting this for free. We're just having a laugh. We're not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to sell you loads of stuff now, but we're not trying to like sell you anything in a different sense, if you see what I mean. Please give us a bit of support.
Buy the merch or we'll intervene in a very confrontational moment.
Yeah, we know who you are.
And can I make a request? For the love of God, please don't call this episode Pedophiles in Prison.
Thanks
Don't
for-
you do it.
Let me
Don't.
Get the little
Shut
part.
that.
Turn that off.
Buy some mugs, buy some t-shirts. Thank you so much, everybody. We really do appreciate it, right? You're a great crowd. Thanks so much. And if I don't see you, have a great Christmas.
You're a great crowd.